Hello everyone, welcome to my humble abode. I'm in a hotel in a quarantine because I have to come back to Malaysia. I have some works to do that I can't wait for the quarantine, the movement control order by the Malaysian government to be over. So I'm in this quarantine since the 23rd of August until tentatively it's gonna be 5th of September. So it's 14 days. It's 13 nights and 14 days. So what happens is when you go into quarantine, you can't leave the room. When you check in, the last thing you see is the hotel lobby, the receptionist, and you can't meet anyone. You can't talk to the neighbors. Not talk to the neighbors either. You can't walk out the door. um, all you do is hang around in the room and do your thing, and you can't even have relatives deliver you any food, because I believe this is actually fear of anyone getting food poisoning, which will be quite a problem, because if you're in quarantine, that means you might be a carrier of a COVID-19 virus. So if you are a carrier, if you get food poisoning, you would need to be rushed to the hospital. So they don't want you to be contaminating the rest of the people, or if possibly if you are contagious, if you are symptomatic, but you don't look sick, but maybe you're a carrier of the virus, because that's the whole point of the quarantine, want to dig out the virus in you. So from the airports all the way here up till this point, today is my day 13. Day 13. Tomorrow is my day 14. So I'll be out by tomorrow, hopefully by the morning, before lunchtime, I hope. I'm still waiting for the tests and all the results and the letters issued by the government before we can leave. So what happens is, every morning when I wake up, I have to fill up an online form to submit to the health department, to mention that I declare that I'm not having any fevers or any symptoms or any headaches or any lost sense of smell, sense of taste. Pretty much every symptom that has been mentioned, I think everyone has seen it on the news, on all the newspapers and on social media, that if you have all these symptoms, that you're actually COVID-19 positive, which you should have it looked at. So I won't complain, because for some people they say, wow, 14 days is a lot, but for me I think it's a good move by the government. That's why we don't get so many outbreaks around here. We don't have like too many deaths. I think up till this point where I'm recording the video, in Malaysia we only have 128 deaths. So if you compare to other countries, 128 is probably a daily infection rate, if they're lucky. So in that sense, we are pretty much under control. It's not bad. I'm proud of Malaysia doing this, and handling it very efficiently. Thumbs up, Malaysia. Well, how was the commute from Heathrow? Some people might wonder, how was the commute? The commute was okay, because I left home at about 6 o'clock in the morning. My sister and my brother-in-law dropped me off in Heathrow Airport, Terminal 5. I took Qatar Airways, so check-in, security checks, check-in luggage, check-in suitcases, everything works pretty much the same, except for you see the usual screens to protect the virus from spreading. For me, I think it's kind of useless, but oh well, it is a guideline, so everyone has to comply with that. Everything is pretty much the same up to the boarding gate. That's where Qatar Airways actually give me the face shield. I think if you have seen in the picture. So yeah, you have to pretty much wear the face shield all the way from the airport or from your home all the way. I prefer to wear from home, but well, since I got to the airport in our own car, so I wore my face mask, never took it off from arriving the point of arrival in the airport at 9 o'clock in Heathrow until I arrived back in this hotel. So that's kind of fun because the commute was about 32 hours. I've clocked on my watch. I had a wristwatch, so I had a stopwatch on, and I clocked about 32 hours from door to door. So I did wear the mask for at least 26 hours. 26 hours, somewhere about there. So it was a little bit suffocating because you have to wear for a long time, and when you breathe you have all these water vapors and that accumulates around your face. My skin is very sensitive. I get like breakouts every time I'm in like super humid environment, or when I wear my balaclava, go fishing, or sometimes when I'm doing dusty work, very prone to like breakouts. So yeah, it was quite a challenge, but it was a good experience at the same time. So in the airplane, you have to wear your face shield, and also you have to wear your face mask. I had to get my N95 or KN95, the professional looking one, professional looking face mask that pretty much protect me from asymptomatic or infected people from from me catching their virus. So I did wear that all the way through the flight, except for meal times. Meal times you're allowed to like pull it down, but I don't want to take my chances. Well, face shield, I don't think face shield is very effective, but since like I say, it's a guideline, so we just do it. So what I did was I pull out my face mask, tilt my face shield over upwards, and start eating my meals, my in-flight meals and snacks and stuff. Then it comes to like nap time. Well, I would say nap time, won't say bedtime because we don't have a bed in the airplane. I had to have to have the face shield on, mask on. When I fell asleep, I was fine, but I think somewhere in mid-flight, it was in the dark. The whole plane was like the stewardesses switch off all the lights so that everyone's in the mood of sleeping, so that you don't get jet lag. I suddenly like snapped out of my sleep, and I was like having like a panic attack of sort, because you feel suffocated, you don't get much oxygen. I think when you sleep, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone's from the medical background, when you are sleeping, your body actually consumes a little bit less oxygen. At the same time, your breathing gets slower. So I think it's because of lack of oxygen. Suddenly I get suffocated. I was like gasping with, it is like gasping for air. Please, I want to breathe. I want to take off my mask. It was so tempting to take off the mask. It's like so stuffy, but well, I closed my eyes and I tried to imagine something like something fun and something happy, and then it went away. I think I had that twice in mid-flight. That was scary. From Heathrow to Doha, then from Doha to Kuala Lumpur. It was a total of 16 hours of flight in total. I had to wait in Doha for 2 hours with Qatar Airways for the transit. That was a scary feeling, because you never know, because I don't really go out since March. I think since March, since this whole COVID thing began, I didn't really like to go to crowded places like shopping malls and stuff. I only go out for really essential things. For some people, they just don't care. But I prefer not to take the chance, because I have two very vulnerable and precious people at home. Consu and my sister. So they can't afford to get me bringing back this virus to them as a gift. So I don't think anyone should catch this virus. It's horrible. Yeah, I think everyone should do their part so that we can contain this virus and everything can go back to normal. So upon arrival in Kuala Lumpur, I'm not going to go around telling you the whole long story about this whole travel process, but when we arrived in the Kuala Lumpur airport, what happened was we were led by this guide that brought everyone to the other terminal, so that everyone's like on the way out to the airport, out of the airport. So we have to go on the train and we have to, you know, download an app. It's called My Sejahtera. It's like my well-being, my wellness. Well, in the translation, I'm not good translating in Malay. So you have that app that you have to scan a barcode that they have it on the notice board on the way into the trains to the main terminal. You scan it again. Then you come to this immigration checkpoint where the passport control, where you get to this point, you have to go through. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit messy, I would say, because there's a lot of checkpoints before you can check into Malaysia. First you arrive, they will ask you where you from. Okay, I'm from Doha. I came from UK, transit in Doha. So they go like, okay, you have to go into quarantine. Yes, I say, okay, I'll go ahead. So we went through all the registration process, and I gave my letter of approval that I get from the embassy in London. People from London, embassy, Malaysian embassy in London, if you're watching this, thank you so much. You're doing a great job for Malaysians. So we went through all that registration, and we had to pay for the test. There are two tests we have to pay, which is one nasal swab, and the other one is the one in your throat. I'm not sure what is it called. I can't spell it. It's a little bit complicated. The spelling is complicated. So we have to do those two tests. For Malaysians, we only pay 150 ringgit. 150 ringgit is equivalent to about 30, I think it's about 30 pounds, 30 British pounds, or it's about 50 something US dollars equivalent. Pay for these two tests because Malaysians, we get subsidized because we pay taxes in the country, so it makes sense for them to like subsidize it for Malaysians. It's probably in the constitution somewhere. So we pay for the test, we get tested, and then we waited for the group. We have a whole group, a holding area. A holding area has about, I think, about 40 seats. About 40 seats. So everyone get one seat each. Then we were led again by a group of policemen. I think it's their terminal security, airport security, led us to our luggages, our suitcases. We got our suitcases. Then we were led into a bus, a coach. Our luggages were like lined up by the bus. I think you have seen that. Let's see. I'll post it on here if I have the video or a picture. So all the suitcases were like sprayed with antibacterial. This is where I think I saw a post from somewhere on Facebook that someone's backpack was like bleached. I believe it was like it's probably an alcohol based or chlorine based solution. So if you have this kind of travel that you're going into, bear in mind you're gonna might get into this situation. So you might want to like rinse your bag thoroughly when you get back to the hotel or back to your house. Rinse it thoroughly. One is because of this chlorine or alcohol based solution that will bleach your bag. You know, you wouldn't have any more color, it will all be bleached out. Or you can also, well, you have to wash it either way. I did for all my like jackets and backpacks and my suitcase and my duffel bag. I wiped everything down with antibacterial just to be safe. It's good because you never know who someone's might have, like, maybe one of the handlers has coronavirus and cough onto your luggage in suitcase when they're handling it, if they are not wearing a mask. Well, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, I'm not blaming, or I'm not suggesting, but if so, let's eliminate it all altogether, pull it out of the whole equation. That's it. And then we arrive from the bus straight to the hotel, check in. This is where I have to pay cash upfront. It's about 2,100 ringgit in maximum charge the hotel can charge you is 2,100 ringgit, which is about I think it's about, let me see, 2,100 is about 400 300 something pounds, British pounds, or it's about 400 something dollars for the whole 14-day stay, which includes your food, your food 3 times a day, Wi-Fi, you got hot showers, you got well, they give you a bunch of like soaps and shampoos and moisturizers, and well, you get slippers, well, the standard hotel stuff. And also they include satellite TV. You get cable TV. So we don't have too many channels, but I'm thankful that we have about 3-4 channels. I'm always on National Geographic most of the time. National Geographic, HBO, Fox. Well, I 3 for me is more than enough. I have even got my Netflix and Amazon Prime Video set up on my laptop and my phone, but thankfully I didn't use it. I didn't even use it. So I was trying to keep myself occupied with things. So the experience of staying in this quarantine is not quite boring, I would say, because I have lots of things to do. I've made out a list. I've came up with this list, I think about 2 months before I travel, because I was supposed to travel in May, but that didn't happen because the lockdown came in and go like, oh sorry, not even Malaysians can come back to Malaysia, and UK was in lockdown. So I cancelled that one. I lost a little bit of money with the airline, but I had a voucher that I can claim for another flight, so I went with Qatar Airways the next. So yeah, I had Netflix, I had Amazon Prime, didn't even use it, so I'm okay. So I've been in this room. What I was doing is I was actually doing all those work on the list, and the time just flies. Suddenly it's already day 10. It's already day 13 today. Not too bad. I got things done, I got work done. On my, well, I would say my timeout, I had, well, I ran a mini marathon around the room. I traced the walls all around, the furniture around, and walk around, and trying to keep myself like active and burn a little bit of calories, because eating, sleeping, repeat for 14 days won't do you any good. And this hotel actually feed you quite a lot. Some hotels I've seen, the meals were, let me see, I would say I won't be able to finish a meal that they serve, but this hotel I'm staying in was quite okay. We have a Facebook group, by the way, for this quarantine in Malaysia, quarantine support group. If you guys from Malaysian quarantine support group, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for creating this group. Ed, the creator of this group, you done a great job for everyone, from Malaysians and for people who are planning to come back to Malaysia or to visit Malaysia. At least you are informed. The rest of my days, I will also enjoy my view. As you can see, my view is really not bad. Let me show you. See, I have like a, there's like a, I think it's a mine, sand mine, or like a more like a quarry where they mine sand, probably for construction works. That's a lake. I do enjoy going on, watching people fishing on that lake. At one point I saw like 4 boats. I counted 4 boats all the way from that end all the way to here. Well, watching people fish is kind of calming for me. And I also have this small, like a, I would say it's like a marshland. You have like wild birds and like wild animals in there. It's quite nice. And then I see workshops down there, garages. You have people walking and shops around there. And there's a football pitch down there. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at all this. You can see football matches down there. Yeah, and on some days, when it's raining, I like to watch the rain. When it's the cloud rolls in, yeah, you can see like the cloud just blankets over. It's like rolling in, dark clouds, and then it starts to rain. You can see the rain coming, like cascading in like that. And yesterday was amazing. I watched like a light show. It was a light show. I was sitting in this chair, and it was like it was a heavy thunderstorm. I can see lightning strikes everywhere. It's like really bright. I captured some on the camera. I'll share it on this video next after this. But it was fun. It was a good experience. Food wise, was so-so. Food was okay, edible. But I think I'm probably washing out my Asian culture that I don't really eat as much rice anymore, because me and Consuelo at home, we don't really eat that much rice. For me to eat like rice 3 times a day is like mind blowing. Other than that, other than eating and stuff, I did like Duolingo. I also did some Spanish classes. Yo hablo español. So it makes me easier. It makes it a lot easier for me to speak to Consuelo's parents. They don't speak much English. And at the same time, I like to learn more new things. Overall, I would say this quarantine has changed my perspective of the world. I think I appreciate life more now, because if you're out there, you can do everything. When you're in here, you're just like in a box, and you're in an aquarium, you're just looking out. Changes your perspective of the world. It does. Anyway, if you're planning to come to Malaysia, keep an eye on the foreign travel advisory on your respective countries, and also be sure to check with your Malaysian consulate in your local, in your city or in your country. I believe that Malaysia have a consulate in pretty much all of the countries, if I'm not mistaken. Don't take my word for it. Check on the website if you can find one, or Google Maps. That helps. Yeah, do that. I think you'll get to it. So anyway, wishing you safe travels, and stay safe, stay COVID free, wash your hands, follow the guidelines. You'll be safe.